Hello and welcome to Light Guidance Live for 9. I'm Michael. Hope you are having another absolutely fabulous day. Today is the 24th episode of this wonderful little 9-minute feature. And today, the title and topic is Getting Polished. And getting polished is actually just something that came to me one day. A woman that I know, owns a great restaurant called Fork here in Cornelius that I go to quite often. And she asked me, she goes, Michael, have you always been this like bright and cheery and encouraging? And I was like, no, I hadn't. And it kind of dawned on me in that very moment. I had to explain to her, like, it used to be, I was much rougher. Had a lot of edges, and it dawned on me as we go through life, initially, obviously, when we start out, we're babies and kind of perfect, right? But then life gets hold of us and the learning process, and we often have to learn. We learn to walk by falling down, right? We learn to talk by gurgling and screaming and making all manner of strange noises, We learn to be, potty trained by crapping our pants. So the nature of our existence is always kind of for lack of better reference, from the negative to the positive. So anyhow, as we go, we start out, we're young, and, we sit there and crap our pants and eventually figure that out, and then we gurgle and gobble and coo and whatever, and we eventually learn to speak. And then we go and we grow, but then we get these edges, and they're very, it's like kind of like, I don't know, just a figure a boulder with a bunch of, edges, but it's pretty rough. But, we go, and so things happen, and, perhaps, we have some big incident, whether maybe it's our first fight as boys growing up in elementary school or junior high, maybe as a girl, whatever, something happens. It's conceived at the time as bad, but it ends up being a lesson. But it's a big one, and bam, it knocks an edge off it. So now that it starts to smooth a little spot right there, and then we go along, and perhaps we get our our first heartbreak, and so boom, and it knocks another edge off, right? And so we go through, and we get out into school, and maybe we're in athletics, and we lose the big game, and bam, we lose another edge. And then perhaps as we age and grow, maybe our great grandparents, maybe our grandparents, maybe someone close in our family dies, bam, another edge gets knocked off. And so these things that are just in a way rites of passage in life, the things that make a mark, so to speak, but they're actually taking big chunks off, big sharp, chunks. And so as you grow, after a while, there's less chunks. And, if you become more spherical, spherical like a ball, there's less edges. And so you begin to just kind of roll, and, things that would have knocked an edge off before, well, now you just kind of bounce off them and kind of change direction. And once you get a good direction going, if you're running kind of basically parallel to things, you're always, you don't want to be going like this, because then you're doing that. And there's some of that too, okay? After you get polished, maybe you're pinging back and forth because you're not picking up a lesson. But as you get more rounded, and then as you begin to hit, well, these hits, and also, through perspective, through growth, through learning, through adjusting our presentation, our perspective from all those lessons, from those big hits, we learn, okay? And as we learn, we begin to get smoother and smoother and smoother. And before long, we're actually getting polished. And if you do that with absolute, with intention, with meaning, when you choose to say, you know what, I've learned this lesson. Initially, it hurt. Initially, it made me angry. Initially, it made me sad. And initially, it made me fearful. Whatever it might be, but just kind of, okay, that's what it was. Accept it for that. Honor that it happened. Be grateful that it happened. Find the lesson, and then choose to discard the negative emotion. Embrace the lesson, and then let it go. So you continue to do this, okay? And now, the more polished you get, the light that hits you, you reflect it back. The good that comes in your life, you reflect it back. And have you ever noticed that a really highly polished thing will not reflect darkness? It can't. It can only reflect light. So the more polished we become, the darkness may be around, but it doesn't bother us because it's not really capable of interacting. You need cracks in crevices, and then where the light hits, it creates shadows. Those shadows are kind of like fear and weak spots, or places we haven't processed things out yet. But with time, life will polish you. And life is very much, you could say, look at water. From what we understand, water created the Grand Canyon. It polished it over time. Over time, just eroded water. After a while, I guess the wind got involved. But it created this beautiful thing. And that's what life does to us. If we so choose to sort of realize this and not constantly fight it, not constantly carry that hurt and that anger and that fear and that sadness. We get caught up in the emotion of the experience and we carry that emotion, but then we miss the lesson. What we need to embrace and carry is the learning, the knowing, the lesson. Let go of that tough emotion, just let it be. It will always be there. If you really want it, you can go get it back, okay? It will show back up. So that allows us, carrying knowledge. Knowledge is pretty light. It can be useful, can be very strong and very powerful, but it doesn't take up much space, where heavy emotion does. And so become more polished. Then there's no shadows, and then things just glance off you very easily. So consider that. Consider allowing yourself to become polished. If you're getting a little bit older, stuff like for me, 53 years into it, I'm getting there, okay? I'm getting there. Still a long ways to go, a lot of work to do. Everything, like I said before, everything I'm sharing with you, by no means am I the master of all this stuff. These are the things that I'm figuring out. As, lucky for me, I'm inquisitive. I'm always looking for, a better way. Maybe if it's a process, a way that's more efficient, maybe a bit more time efficient, maybe more reward efficient, maybe it's more self-satisfaction, more joy, more love, more light to shine. So these are just things I'm working on, things I would like to share with you because I care about you guys, because you're awesome. You're my friends, you're my family, you're the people that are sharing this life with me, and what a tremendous gift that you are to me. And so consider this, okay? You're just getting polished. Let go of the hurt, let go of the anger, let go of the sadness, let go of the fear. Let life, let those hurts, let those lessons clean you up and polish you. And remember, you don't want to be going against the thing as we're kind of rolling. We're, metaphorically here, we're like a big ball, okay? We're like a big ball, it's rolling around. Much of life, there seems to be a lot of round things out there, a lot of things going in circles from, at the very little level, I don't know that all the, parts of the atoms are perfectly round. They seem to hang out in some sort of little, rotation. The Earth and the Sun, the Moon and the Earth, the other planets and the Sun, the other planets and their moons. There's this whole little fame of circles going around most, a lot of our spots, sports, whether they're cars going around on tires, going round, or balls being bounced and thrown around. You get a couple odd balls like football thrown there, but it's it still gets its way. So anyways, you don't want to go up against it for too long. You want to figure out how to change your angle. Coming easier and easier, and the less your angle of impact on your direction, then it smooths out. And after a while, you can almost just kind of feel in any given thing. We have a charge, right? We have magnetics, and so if you magnetic, from a reference of something that has a charge, it can actually kind of adjust itself. Things can be centered, like I don't know if you're familiar with a gyroscope, but it sort of sits there in this little round spot, perfectly balanced, and so it kind of knows where it's at without actually hitting anything or sticking to it. So we can kind of do that, okay? We can kind of just get the metaphoric walls of life, the borders, the definitions of our days, they're all sort of in there. And I do believe I'm sneaking up on going long on 9 minutes. So this was about polished, getting polished, being polished, letting go of the hurt, accepting the lesson, going forward, and shining your light, spreading your love, Thank you so much. This has been Live for 9 that actually went for 10 today. I apologize for that. Little extra bonus for you. Have an absolutely fabulous rest of your day. Know that you're appreciated. Take care.